So we have learned about the importance of various sectors in the contribution of GDP or in the GDP growth rate. Okay, in our next slide, we will learn about how agriculture and industry sector is dependent on each other. How agriculture and industry sectors are dependent on each other and they complement each other. And this is a very important question. Whenever I was studying the board questions for you, I saw that many questions, about 70% question has a creative, whether it is have a creative stimuli or there is a chart for industry sector, agriculture sector, and service sector. But there is a creative question regarding for 3 marks or 4 marks, that is the dependency on agriculture and industry sector on each other and how the agriculture and industry sector complement each other. Okay, so this is a very important question. You have to learn this question with points and remember those points whenever you got any kind of paragraph or any kind of passage with any scenario. You have to relate the scenario with this topic. Okay, so let's start. What happens in the industry sector and what happens in agriculture sector? Okay, the industry sector supplies the equipment, supplies the fertilizers for the development and modernization of agriculture. Whenever we are involved in agriculture, we need some equipment and need fertilizers or and high yielding seeds or other materials for irrigation, for plowing. The industry sector provides all these materials for the development and modernization of agriculture. And similarly, the raw materials come from the agriculture sector for the expansion of industry. And for the manufacturing industry, all the raw materials come from the agriculture sector. So most of our industries are agriculture based. And the main industries of our country are jute industry, tea, leather, sugar, paper, and all these are dependent on agriculture for the supply of raw materials. For jute industry, you need jute. It comes from agriculture. Tea comes from agriculture. Leather comes from the poultry and domestic rearing of animals. Sugar industry, sugarcane, agriculture. Paper industry, bamboo, cane, and other. There are some other plants which are the raw materials of paper. Okay, so all of these components come from the agriculture sector, and these industries are directly dependent on agriculture for the supply of their raw materials. Okay, and for this reason, region-based industries have been developed, and for this reason, some industries are developed by region. Okay, where they will collect the raw materials, it has determined the location of the industry. It has determined the location of industry. Can you guess any industry which are based on the location of the raw material supply? Anyone? Okay, let me help you. I'm giving you some examples with this. Okay, for the supply of raw materials, there have established region-based industries. And in our country, for example, I was asking you for example, jute industry in Dhaka and Narayanganj. Jute industry is in Dhaka and Narayanganj for the benefit for the supply of raw materials. Tea industry is situated in Chattogram and Sylhet, and sugar industry is in North Bengal. Okay, so with the expansion of these industries, the production of in agriculture will increase. Obviously, they will increase due to the increased demand of raw materials, and the farmers will get proper price for their product through the industries. Whenever the industries buy the raw materials at a whole or at a gross price, it is confirmed that the farmers will get proper price for their products rather than selling them in the retail market or through the intermediary brokers. Okay, so this is the very prominent advantages for region-based industries. Okay, and these will increase the income and the standard of living of the farmers. Whenever the farmers will have increased income, the standard of living will obviously increase, and there will be a chance of savings, and the accumulation of capital will increase as the income of the people will increase. Many people are not intended to spend all of the money they earn, so there will be a chance of saving, and whenever there is savings, the accumulation of capital will increase, and thus the more investment will be possible in the industrial sector. So there will be a cycle of investment, okay, in the industrial sector, which is based on the agriculture. And in our country, the base of small industries is agriculture. Bamboo and cane produced in agriculture are used as raw material for the cottage industry. For in our country, the small industries or cottage industries are also based on agriculture. Here it is mentioned about two plants for example, of the cottage industry, but there are other materials which are related to agriculture. These are the basic raw material of cottage industry or the base of the cottage industry. Okay, and whenever it comes for agriculture, the equipment for cultivation in agriculture, the fertilizers, pesticide, the medicines, etc., are produced in the industries, and thus the agriculture plays an important role in the marketing of the industrial products. The industry produces these materials for agriculture, and when these equipments and medicines or the materials are used in the agriculture is actually playing as a marketing field of industrial product. Okay, you understand? You are producing the goods, and our agriculture sector is using and utilizing. They are utilizing the products. So it is playing as a marketing field for industrial products. And as the purchasing capacity of the farmers increase, because their income is increased, the demand for their industrial product also increase. Whenever farmers have money in their hand, they will tend to invest more on their agriculture, and which helps the expansion of industrial sector as well as the agricultural sector. Suppose when a farmer earns more from the product, then he will tend to buy a product for irrigation, a machine for irrigation. He will buy a machine for pesticides, or he will buy a machine for plowing. Okay, so he will tend to buy the industrial product as his purchasing capacity increased. And similarly, when the sale of the industry sector is increased, the expansion of this sector is obvious. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the dependency of agriculture and industry, it is possible to achieve self-sufficiency in producing food grains through the modernization of agriculture. And this happens, the cost of import will be saved, and the saved money can be used for the development of the industry. Whenever the country is self-sufficient in producing foods through the agriculture or through the modernization of agriculture, then there will be no cost for import, and the money will be saved, and the saved money can be used for the development of industry. So if the agricultural sector is modernized, it will also help the industry sector to develop. Okay, and from this discussion, it can be said that our agriculture and industry sector are dependent on one another, and they complement each other. Okay, thus the development in both sectors together is necessary for the economic development, self-sufficiency in food, and self-reliance of our country. All these two are interrelated, they complement each other, they are dependent on each other. Agriculture is related with or dependent on industry, and industry is also dependent on agriculture. And thus, whenever we are looking for economic development, or we are looking for self-sufficiency in food, or we are looking for the country will be self-reliant, then we have to take care of these two sectors, agriculture and industry, and these two sectors will take care of the growth of the country. Okay, and with this the topic of this chapter 8 finished, and in our next slide or in our next class we will talk about the exercise section. I have solved the exercise from your textbook, and I have studied many board questions and try to solve them for you. Okay, and there are some questions which are similar, and I have changed the names or scenarios for you, but the theme of the questions are more or less similar. I told you earlier, the question is very important, that is dependency of agriculture and industry sector on each other. Okay, whenever you are solving the questions, read through the book. Okay, read the book thoroughly and try to answer by yourself. I'm here to help you in the next class.